Pump up the jam in the house. What's going on, man? We're going to get started here, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I see we have some people joining the live stream now, so let us know where you're tuning in from in the live chat. Exciting day. It's been an exciting couple of weeks. And if you've been tuned in here for the last little while, you knew that this was more than likely going to be coming. And I gave about a week heads up on XRP that we could see 260. That target has since been reached, so we'll take a look at that. Also called out multiple bull flags on the S&P 500. Those are just a couple dollars away from confirming, actually. So been pretty spot on here. SPCE also looking good, and we called that one out. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks. So we'll get started here in about 30 seconds. So let us know where you're tuning in from. Smash the like, share the video with anybody that can jump on last minute, and we'll get started here momentarily. Got Chris in the house. Welcome, Chris, VIP member. I guess I changed the name. What did I change that to on here now? Core member. Yeah, I have a VIP membership in the POW Group private community, which is separate from YouTube. So I wanted to change that. So a core member here on YouTube. And also a POW Group private community member. So shout out to you, Chris. Thanks for joining. Kelowna, BC in the house. Beautiful. Scott says XRP. All day, every day. XRP fam. Got Mexico. Nice. Welcome, Michael. All right, well, without further ado, let's get things kicked off. Angel, Scott, no way, man. Thanks for joining. Chris, Jam, really appreciate it. And I see we have a couple dozen people crawling in here now. So again, once again, thanks for joining the live stream. It's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Monday, May 12th. Hope you're well. And we got an exciting XRP update. The target of 260 has been reached. And I mentioned this in my previous video, so we'll go over these targets and then we'll do some technical analysis, what to expect in terms of the price action and the technicals in the days, weeks, months ahead. But as always, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And you should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. And full disclosure, I do own XRP in my crypto portfolio. It accounts for over 80% of my portfolio. So I put my money where my mouth is. I am very heavy into XRP. The only thing I own more of than XRP is real estate. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. And if you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPOW. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So I just posted this video. This was just a couple of days ago. Yeah, back on 3 days ago. So this had tons of views, 1.6K views, over 100 likes. Fine, like the time is finally here. The case is officially, well, they filed the settlement. So we had that, all the Bitcoin maxis were saying, oh, nothing official came from the SEC, and just like a bunch of clowns that they are. And then sure enough, the SEC files the settlement letter, which is exactly the same as Ripple said. So, it's just, you can't, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. And unfortunately, Bitcoin maxis are just, they're not the smartest of the bunch. So, we'll put that to rest for now. But anyways, moving along, basically it's just going through the final formalities, right? They just have to get the judge to sign off on the settlement. I can't see them doing that. And they lift the injunction with regards to, it's basically a restriction so that they can sell to institutions. And then the way I understand it, the SEC has to have a vote. Anyways, very, very close. We're like 95% of the way there, basically over. We know that, this was all just a stage anyway. It was just a vetting process to give XRP the legal clarity that it needs. And just like every other big company in the world that makes a dent in the universe, it's a pay-to-play game, right? Tesla would have went bankrupt. The SEC would have bankrupted them. He says the Securities and Enrichment Commission, right, has no respect for them, right? They did the same thing with Facebook and Google and Amazon. All of them are sued, right? And they do this because it's a pay-to-play system. And in my opinion, they did this to give it legal clarity. But in this video, I mentioned we could see 260, and that's exactly what we got today. You can see here our target was basically hit to perfection. So we'll jump into the chart in just a moment. But yeah, this is a time to rejoice and celebrate that we've been here for this long, and we're finally getting rewarded. And I mentioned this in the POW Group private community yesterday. And speaking of which, I'll just bring it up here. So there's something else I want to show you. But I said, somebody said in the group, can't remember who, I think it was Nick, but anyway, basically said, it's going to be hard not to take profit at $3. We're basically at $3. We had 265 today. I have no no interest in taking profit at $3. My first take profit level is $4. If you haven't seen my XRP video, just go here to my channel, type in XRP exit, and then this goes through all of my targets and exit plan. So we'll just bring this up here. There it is right there. So my first take profit level is $4. I'll take out my initial investment there. My second take profit level is $7. I'll take 10% off the table there. And then I have take profits all the way up to about $35. And then I have a certain amount that I'm holding long term and a certain amount that I'm holding forever. So yeah, if you haven't seen that video, check out that entire video. That one's got almost 5,000 views, over 4.1 thousand views, and almost 250 likes. So a lot of people had great feedback from that. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. But yeah, this is what I mentioned in the POW Group private community. So if you're not joined in our community, this is the community here. It's based on Slack. We've got almost 60 members in the group now, but you can go to pursuitofwealthgroup.com or powgroup.ca, and I'll just bring up the website actually here real quick. So if you just go to POW Group, search POW Group, first one that'll come up here, and there's a free trial. So you can just, and then you can fill out this form here, and then you can get 7 days free access, no credit card required. Come check us out for one week free of charge, and there's all the benefits there. Or you can just click the free trial there, and it'll bring you to that page. You can sign up for the free trial, same thing here, and this is what you get access to, is this POW Group private community. So essentially I spend 24/7, where I spend most of my days, 24/7, 365 in this group. And you can, I do private live streams for members. If you can do chart requests, it doesn't matter what time of day or whatever, and this is pretty much all I do all day, every day. I can't be hanging out on X and on YouTube publicly, because I just don't have enough time. So if you want more access to me and inside our amazing community, you can join us. But I mentioned last Monday, May 5th, I said, good morning, XRP fam, literally any day now. And this was exactly a week ago today. I said, I still think it's possible another 1 to 2 weeks minimum, but good chance we get some price moving up any time now. But I said I didn't expect us to hit all-time highs for at least a couple of weeks. And then earlier today, or was it here? Scroll down to today. Where was it? Yeah, an XRP. I forgot about that ETF. So I mentioned that today. Look at this. It was a daily bull flag on XRP. I told you I bought this in my TFSA, my tax-free savings account. And essentially it's a 2x leverage ETF, futures-based. And there was a daily bull flag on XRP, the ETF. And look at this. The target was $42, and we hit that today. And if you didn't get an entry here on this first entry, you can see the first arrow, number 1. If you didn't get an entry there, you had another one. And it was perfect. It was absolutely perfection. I entered this at like $22, $23. I think it was just under $23, and today it hit, I think, 44. And we'll take a quick look at it here in just a moment. But yeah, it gave multiple heads up on that one. 256 target hit. So here it was yesterday. Yeah, mentioned this last week. XRP could start moving up anytime, which we got along with the rest of the sector. So I called that out a week ago. I said 1 to 2 more weeks and we could be at a new all-time high territory. So I do think that all-time highs are just around the corner. The MACD bull cross will be the key, and most likely will be the signal for new all-time highs, which again I think is likely in the next week or two. I would say 3 weeks max. But yeah, over the next couple of weeks we should see all-time highs on XRP, in my opinion. One thing I'm looking at that's very possible is, and I'm just going to bring up this XRP before I forget. One thing I'm looking at, which is very possible, yeah, look at that today, $44.13. I think that the most likely scenario is we get another leg up, which would be that third impulse wave on XRP. It's probably going to bring us to a new all-time high, I would say, $5 or $6. From there, we'd probably pull back to 4 or 350, and then maybe a little bit of a summer lull, right? That's typical. Sell and man, go away, a little bit of a drop off in activity. But I think over the next month or so, we should see crypto legislation, stablecoin bill, market structure, and then more than likely going to see a flurry of ETFs get approved, right? Litecoin was delayed, XRP was delayed, there's Solana, there's tons of other Dogecoin, so there's probably going to be a whole slew of them. And that's what will catalyst the alt season. And then we'll also see crypto legislation in the US. We could even see a vote again this week. So we'll see what happens. But there's been some political gamesmanship going on there and posturing. Democrats were voting in favor of it in the banking committee, but then it passed the committee, went into a floor vote, and then they shut it down. So it's just more political posturing and nonsense and theater. But at the end of the day, I think over the next couple months, we could see new all-time highs. I'm thinking somewhere around that, like I said, $5 to $6 on XRP makes a lot of sense. Maybe see it pull back into August, end of summer around $4 to $3 after hitting 6. And then I think we're going to see that final fifth wave, impulse wave into the end of the year. And to quote Raoul Pal, I think it could potentially spill over into Q1 2026. I'm not expecting that as the most likely scenario, but I do think that, sometime between now and the end of the year is where we're going to see this blow off top here for most crypto. But yeah, overall looking fantastic here at the moment. And this chart here, XRP, if you haven't taken advantage of this opportunity, we literally had a daily bull flag, and then you just take your measured move there from the low to the high. And I don't think I have logarithmic on. I don't know why that keeps turning off on me. Just put that back on again. TradingView has a mind of its own sometimes, and I like log scale better than linear. So if you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, move it out to your 0.32 fib, and it was saying $42 was the target. Boom, we hit it. If you missed that entry here, you had another entry here. So there was no excuses. And this is why I love using bull flags as such great entry opportunities, because A, they're a bullish continuation pattern, and B, you have a very clear level to go off of. So what I like to do typically is I try to get it as close to the 0.32 fib as possible, and then put a stop loss under the 0.5 fib if you're looking to swing trade it. And you want to use a stop loss, because if you lose the 0.5, then we're more than likely heading down in here to the golden pocket, and you were wrong about the trade. But if you dip down into here, what they quite often do is they go stop loss hunting, right? So you allow a little bit of wiggle room, and I think, putting it just under. So in this case, if you miss this entry, you could have entered here on XRP at 28.53 was the low. So you could have entered at $28 and then set your stop just under 27.62. So essentially, you would have risked about 4%, and you'd be up 52%. Now that's a great risk to reward opportunity. And again, why I love using these fib tools and clear entry levels based off the 0.32 fib with a stop just below the 0.5. And I mentioned this in our course as well in the Pow Group Academy, which I'm working on an advanced one here at the moment, and hopefully get that out in the next month or so. But yeah, we've been calling this like you wouldn't believe. This has just been absolutely money. SPY was 2 daily bull flags. We were targeting 586 and 587. So show me the chart, I'll tell you the news. Literally what happened. Today we hit 582.43. Multiple bull flags confirmed. And then if we zoom into the hourly time frame, it's another hourly bull flag. And this one's targeting 592, and we just confirmed it. So we have our low, high, higher low, brief consolidation period. Then you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, move it out. It's saying a 592 is the target now on the S&P 500. So this is just market breadth and expansion opening up, looking great. And literally China deal news came out. Show me the chart, I'll tell you the news, and then boom. Even Trump said buy stocks. It's like, what else do we need, right? So yeah, that was looking fantastic. What was another name that we called out on the channel recently? SBCE. I just posted a video. If you go to my channel here and go to videos, scroll down. It was about 2 weeks ago, and I posted it on SBCE. Won't go too far into this, but I just wanted to show this up. So I said big move incoming. This was 13 days ago, and look at this stock over the last couple weeks. It's up 52%. And mentioned that this one was more than likely going to be targeting into the 350s, 360s. And sure enough, we've basically done exactly everything that we were expecting. So technical analysis, anybody who doesn't think it works just doesn't know how to use the tools that were given to them. But yeah, this is looking fantastic. SPY, super bullish at the moment. Just imagine if we get the actual China trade deal, and we get some of these other concerns that are in the market behind us. It's going to be a crazy few weeks. And imagine if we get stablecoin legislation and ETFs for all these altcoins. Like, it's going to be a fireworks show, folks. Like, this is going to be the mother of all bull markets and alt season, in my opinion. But yeah, on the day today, we got XRP and then XRP. Love to see XRP all the top at the list. There's not going to be one coin to rule them all, but my God, if there was a coin to rule them all, it'd definitely be XRP. Anybody, like, I love to, you just hear people talking about it like, oh, XRP is a shit coin. It's like, your brain is a shit coin. Like, do you even like crypto, bro? Do you even like common sense, bro? Do you even brain, bro? Like, anyway, it's just, they're in this Bitcoin maxi echo chamber, and it's just like, you do realize that XRP was created by Bitcoin developers, you numbskull. Anyway, it's just so funny to see them like try to do backflips and then fall on their face, and yeah, we'll just continue to watch them get their face melted. And yeah, they did you know Bitcoin maxis also love Velcro shoes because they can't figure out the regular shoes, right? It's just so difficult, you know. You got to do like the bunny and the bow. They love that Velcro, you know. It's just so easy for them because, you know, their brain doesn't go too far off. They can't really see beyond their own nose. That's about as far as their distance goes, you know. They don't even get length, the arm length. They don't even get wingspan. They get the nose just in front. Beyond that, they can't really see past it. So, Bitcoin maxi syndrome, I guess. Derangement syndrome. All right, jumping into the chat here. Yeah, Bitcoin looking great. Oh, real quickly, Bitcoin dominance. I mentioned this as well in my previous video. Look at this falling off a cliff. I said it's going to take a tumble. And we could even see a bear flag confirmed soon, which we'll take a look at just a moment. But I wanted to mention as well on XRP, we had an hourly ascending triangle, and that was here. And we broke out, we confirmed it, went into a bear trap, and then we got our measured move right up to exactly where we were expecting. So it's not surprising to see this confirm, and then you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, move it out. It was saying 256, but they love to just mess with you, right? Bull break. Oh, no, that was just a bull trap. We're going down. Ended up being an actual bear trap. Held that key low there at 232 rather. We hit 232 was a double bottom, perfect entry, and then confirmed, and then saw the target reached and then some. So that's typical for them to do. But yeah, Bitcoin dominance. We're looking at a potential daily bear flag now when we do bounce. So if we were to bounce, say tomorrow, anything under 63.46% is a potential daily bear flag on Bitcoin dominance. And we just hit daily oversold as well. We were just at daily overbought and then straight into daily oversold, which is pretty gnarly. But yeah, we'd be targeting about down to 60 on the Bitcoin dominance. So the reason why this is so important is because Bitcoin dominance has been on an absolute tear, really, since like back here in 2020. 2022 was the lows there. We had, 2021, we had that massive uptick in altcoins, but not everything was hitting new all-time highs, like XRP, XLM, Litecoin. There was a few other outliers, but most of them were hitting new all-time highs. And then really since that low, it's just been all Bitcoin. So if we look at the monthly time frame, we're close to starting monthly consolidation, which means we're losing the low of the previous candle. If it's on the weekly time frame, you lose the low of the previous weekly candle, you're consolidating on the weekly. If you break the high of the previous candle, you're bouncing. Those are the two terms, right? So it's now been almost 6 months without any monthly consolidation. We have no support all the way down to 54, 56. And then the real thing to watch here is the monthly RSI on Bitcoin dominance has never been this high before. So we were overbought. What does that mean? Typically, you can expect, right, Bitcoin to underperform if it's the dominance chart, and alts to perform better. Down here, whenever Bitcoin dominance is oversold, you would expect it to perform well against altcoins, and that's exactly what happened. Now we're looking to see the reverse of that. And like I said, the RSI on this Bitcoin dominance has never been higher. It's an all-time high. So this tells me that the alt season is going to be even bigger than I originally anticipated. And I think this could drop down into the 50s, maybe even low 40s by the time alt season is over with. But, given enough time, in a couple decades, 5 to 10 years from now, maybe 20 years from now, Bitcoin dominance might only be at 10%, right? Because just because it was first doesn't mean it's last. And there's going to be every company, every country, every like part of the world is going to be tokenized. So, there's going to be so much, market share to go around. And this is literally a $50 to $100 trillion market easily. And just imagine once we get crypto legislation in the U.S. and clear rules of the road, right? But yeah, this is the chart that we're watching right now. Look how close to that MACD is, the crossing bullish here on the weekly time frame. Like I said, 1 to 2 weeks, new all-time highs. Within the course of 1 to 2 weeks, I think new all-time highs could happen sooner, but I think that's the most likely scenario. And then somewhere around 3 weeks at the most before new all-time highs on XRP. but I do think that $5 to $6 on this next impulse wave higher, very possible. Then, like I said, a brief consolidation period down to $4 or $3 again, and then back test old previous all-time highs as new support, right? Class technical analysis 101. And then I think we're going to see somewhere around that $14 area, potentially into the end of the year. M2 money supply, liquidity, and potential for quantitative easing and interest rates. They could even lower interest rates in the U.S. as well. The Fed next meeting. So I think that's next month. So there's so many catalysts. It's not even funny. Ripple will probably announce an IPO at some point between now and the end of the year. We did fight off that death cross as well on the daily time frame there on XRP. So that's great to see. Bulls defending that, because we didn't want to see that, because if we did, more than likely we're heading down to $1.50. And here we are back above all of our daily moving averages and our weekly moving averages. Hard to find a more bullish chart right now than XRP, but keep an eye on that weekly MACD. Once you see that black line get above that red line, I would say it's all-time highs anytime, like any second, any day, any minute. It's looking fantastic. Money Bags says, Scotty, good afternoon. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, everyone. Enjoy. We got turkey in the house. Awesome. Thanks for joining, Sylvia. And good afternoon to you as well, Justin. Got Angel in the house. Justin says, now we need Tilray to go up. Yeah, that's gonna be a while, but there's gonna be a lot of opportunity with Tilray, percentage-wise, once it starts to recover. Pretty much all MJ. But you're seeing it already, right? You're seeing it in some of the Canadian LPs. They're starting to turn a corner. And I think Tilray's going to be the next to turn a corner here in terms of earnings reports. So keep an eye out on that. CGC weed's going to 260 US. Yeah, that's more like 26 cents though, right? Because it did a reverse split, 1 for 10. But yeah, 26 cents should be easily doable. It was a $60 stock, so 26 cents. Yeah, I hope it can get there. But why taking profit as you can pay with XRP in future anywhere? Yeah, I'm not. Check out my exit plan video. There's a certain amount of XRP that I'm holding forever that I won't sell. And yeah, check out my XRP exit plan video. Tilray analysis. I'll have to do that on another video. I have another appointment to run to in about 8 minutes. So yeah, I'm due for a Tilray video. But yeah, to be honest, there's not a whole lot of updating. I mentioned watched 40 cents, and we've just been hovering around there. So Mr. Mankey's on time. You are. Welcome, my friend. Another YouTube member as well. Appreciate you. We got Jack in the house. UNH finally going to go. United Healthcare going to fly now. Yeah, we'll have to, whenever I do another public YouTube video and ticker request, I'll have to jump into that. But I won't have time right now. UNH stock trying to take off from the lows. Yeah, pretty much all stocks right now are just ripping. So 'tis the season. Can you check out MPW? I wish I could. Like I said, I have to run. But since you're a member here on YouTube, I'll just take a quick peek at it. Give me 1 second here. MPW. Is that Medical Properties? Trust? Daily time frame. It's a potential daily bear flag, so we need to get above 536 ASAP to negate it. But key support is going to be the lows there from a few days ago at $5, also psychological. If we lose that, then daily bear flag confirmed. We'd be targeting 457 is the measured move there, Mr. Mankey. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'll just show you on the chart here real quick. Yeah, so high, low, lower high. Could see a potential bear flag. So we're right at resistance there. So we want to see us get above 536 to negate that. Still quite a ways away. I'd say in at least a few days, maybe a week before we see the EMAs cross bullish as well. So I wouldn't rule out one more potential leg down. And then, like I said, measured move would be down there around 455. All right. My dividend stock. Nice. Yeah, that's I don't know anything about it, but dividends never a bad thing. All right, going in it there. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. And it's Rod with Pow Group. Once again, I do think that XRP is just getting started, right? The engines are just getting fired up. And yeah, be prepared, because I think the next couple of months are going to be life-changing. I'll be finally more than likely taking profit. Like I said, my first take profit level will be $4. I'll take out my initial investment. And then $7 will be my next target. But again, check out my XRP exit video for that one. And then I think, into October is where we're probably going to see the blow off top. And I think anywhere from $14 to $16 is possible on XRP. I think that's the most likely scenario. Could it go higher? Absolutely. But, I think $8 to $12 is basically just a bare minimum this cycle. And then the most likely 14 to 16, and then, you know, anywhere from 18 to 25 bucks is possible. Can't see it going much higher than that this cycle, but gladly be wrong on that, and I have a plan for it all. So going to end it there. It's Rod with Pal Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll catch you on the next video.